Welcome to Science Snippets, Fun Facts and Trivia. Today, we bring you: can animals predict the future? The science behind instincts and intuition. Have you ever wondered how animals seem to know things, like sensing danger before it arrives, or predicting changes in the weather? This mysterious ability is often linked to what we call instinct. But what exactly is instinct? In simple terms, it is an inborn ability that drives animals to act in certain ways, without needing to learn those behaviors. Unlike humans, animals do not rely on complex reasoning or conscious thought to make decisions. Their brains are wired to react automatically to different situations. It works like a natural reflex embedded in their biology. So, what are some fascinating examples of animal instincts? Take bird migration, for example. Every year, millions of birds travel thousands of miles across continents. Without needing maps or GPS, they seem to have an internal compass that guides them, often following the same routes their ancestors did. Another amazing case is how sea turtles return to the very beach where they were born, years after they have traveled across the ocean. These behaviors might seem almost magical, but they are deeply rooted in the biology of these creatures. This leads to one of the most intriguing questions. Can these instincts help animals predict the future? There have been reports of animals appearing to foresee natural disasters, such as earthquakes and tsunamis. For instance, during the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, animals like elephants were seen moving to higher ground long before the waves hit, leaving scientists and observers puzzled. Could this be a form of future prediction? Or is it simply heightened sensitivity to environmental cues? In the next section, we will dive into the science behind animal instincts to understand how these seemingly mystical abilities might actually work. So, how do animal instincts actually work? To understand this, we need to look at the brain. While humans use complex neural pathways for problem-solving and decision-making, animals rely more on instinctive reactions. These reactions come from the more primitive parts of the brain, such as the brainstem and the limbic system. These areas are responsible for survival functions like fear, hunger, and reproduction. But it's not just about the brain. Animals also have specialized sensory organs that are incredibly fine-tuned to detect changes in their environment. For example, certain fish have lateral lines along their bodies that can sense the slightest movements in the water around them. This allows them to detect predators or changes in water pressure long before humans would even notice. Birds, on the other hand, are believed to have magnetoreception, which means they can sense the Earth's magnetic fields. This helps them navigate during migration, even when the skies are cloudy or landmarks are obscured. And then there are elephants. It's been discovered that elephants can hear infrasound, low-frequency sounds that are below the range of human hearing. This might explain how they can detect distant earthquakes or storms long before they arrive. So, could these heightened senses give animals an edge in predicting the future? Some scientists believe that animals are simply more sensitive to changes in their surroundings, and what looks like future prediction might just be fast reactions to subtle environmental signals. In other words, while humans often overlook small shifts in their environment, animals are constantly tuned into these cues. This heightened awareness can make it seem like they are predicting the future, when in fact, they are just reacting faster than we can. But is it really that simple? In the next section, we will explore whether animals truly have the ability to foresee events, or if their behaviors are just well-tuned survival strategies. Now, let's tackle the big question. Can animals actually predict the future? there have been many reports of animals behaving in ways that suggest they can foresee disasters. From earthquakes to tsunamis, animals seem to react before humans even realize something is wrong. One of the most well-known examples is the behavior of animals during the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. In the hours before the tsunami hit, elephants were seen fleeing to higher ground, and dogs refused to go outside. Even some species of birds and reptiles were observed behaving strangely. But is this really a form of future prediction? Scientists argue that these animals were not predicting the tsunami in a supernatural sense. Instead, they were likely responding to early warning signs, such as vibrations in the ground or changes in atmospheric pressure, which humans could not detect. For example, animals like elephants are incredibly sensitive to vibrations, which could explain why they reacted long before the tsunami arrived. Some species of birds, on the other hand, can detect shifts in air pressure, which may help them sense approaching storms or seismic activity. These abilities have been on through millions of years of evolution. Animals that could respond quickly to natural threats were more likely to survive and pass on their genes. Over time, this resulted in what we see today, animals that appear to predict future events, but are really just reacting to changes faster than humans can. But even with this scientific explanation, there are still some mysteries left unsolved. There are cases where animals seem to respond in ways that do not fit neatly into this explanation. For example, dogs have been reported to sense when their owners are about to arrive home, even without any visible or audible cues. These behaviors continue to puzzle scientists, and while we may not have all the answers yet, the possibility that animals can sense the future in some form remains a fascinating topic. In the next section, we will explore ongoing research and future studies that aim to unlock the full potential of animal intuition. So, what does the future hold for the study of animal intuition? As technology advances, scientists are finding new ways to explore the mysterious abilities animals possess. One area of research focuses on understanding how animals' brains process environmental signals that we cannot detect. For example, researchers are using advanced imaging techniques to study the brain activity of animals during different environmental events, such as earthquakes or storms. By mapping these brain responses, they hope to uncover how animals interpret the subtle changes that precede these natural disasters. Another exciting avenue of research is in the field of biosensors. By studying animals like birds and fish that have heightened sensory abilities, scientists are developing new technologies that mimic these biological systems. These bio-inspired sensors could one day help us detect environmental changes that we are currently blind to. But this research is not just about understanding animal behavior. It has broader implications for how humans can learn from animals to improve our own predictive abilities. For example, could we one day develop devices that warn us about natural disasters, using principles inspired by animal intuition? Some researchers believe that, by closely studying how animals respond to environmental cues, we could create early warning systems that rival the speed and accuracy of animals' instincts. But it's not only about technology. There is also interest in understanding the ethical and ecological implications of animal intuition. As humans continue to alter the environment, how will these changes impact the abilities of animals to use their instincts? Will pollution, habitat destruction, or climate change interfere with the signals animals rely on for survival? These are questions that will likely drive future research. as we continue to explore the untapped potential of animal intuition. In the final section, we will consider how these discoveries could shape the future of human-animal interaction, and what we might learn from these incredible creatures. As we learn more about animal instincts, it opens up new possibilities for the future. One of the most immediate applications could be in environmental conservation. By understanding how animals use their instincts to survive, we could better protect endangered species that rely on these abilities to navigate a changing world. For instance, studying how animals predict natural events could help us design better conservation strategies. If we know when animals are likely to migrate or when they sense an impending disaster, we could tailor our efforts to protect them during critical periods. But the benefits of understanding animal intuition go beyond conservation. There is also potential for improving human technology. As we saw with bio-inspired sensors, animals may hold the key to developing new ways for humans to interact with the environment. Imagine a future where we use devices modeled on bird navigation systems to guide drones, or where earthquake detectors are based on the sensitivity of elephants to ground vibrations. The study of animal instincts could revolutionize how we design our technologies to be more in tune with nature. And on a more philosophical level, understanding animal intuition can teach us something about ourselves. Humans often think of themselves as separate from the natural world. But in reality, we share much with the animals around us. Our ancestors also relied on instincts for survival before we developed advanced reasoning and technology. By studying animal instincts, we can gain insights into the origins of human intuition, and perhaps even reclaim some of the natural awareness we have lost over time. In the end, animals may not be able to predict the future in a supernatural sense, but their finely tuned instincts remind us that nature has its own way of understanding the world, one that we are only just beginning to grasp. Who knows what the future holds? As we continue to explore this incredible connection between humans, animals, and the environment. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.